Horses have it. That fact that horses are power. And bring on the horses. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! 'Tis the face of Shakespeare here. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined two mighty monarchs, whose high up head and fronted fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts into 1,000 parts, man on divided on man. And with that imaginary puissance, think when we talk of horses that you see them, printed their proud hooves in the receiving earth. And there they go. Okay, on to physics. Okay, what is power? The rate at which work is done. We've discussed that already. It's also the rate at which energy is consumed, and which energy is produced. So, it's a rate that occurs over time. Power is work over time. And remember that work makes me mad. It's force times distance, so it's also registered at force times distance over time. And because distance over time is average velocity, force can be measured as power can be measured as force times average velocity. All right, let's try some examples, shall we? Here we go. Here's a power plant. Anybody recognize it? 3 Mile Island. A power plant produces 300 megajoules of energy in 30 seconds. What's the power output of this particular plant? Well, powers work over time, so we have 300 megajoules, 10 to the 6th, divided by 30 seconds, which would give us 1 times 10 to the 7th watts, which is the unit of power, or we could say that as 10 megawatts. That means that the plant provides its customers with 10 million joules of energy every second. That's enough to keep 100,000 standard light bulbs continuously lit. Let's try a dog sled team, right? The Iditarod, famous Alaskan dog sled race. Okay, a team of dog pulls a sled with an average force of 3,000 newtons across a distance of 200 meters in 75 seconds. What is their power output during this time? So, again, work is force times distance, 3,000 times 200 divided by 75 seconds, 8,000 watts, or we could say 8 kilowatts. Finally, here's an elevator motor. Anybody recognize it? Yes, it's the same one that lifts our elevator down in our basement. A motor pulls with an 8,000 Newton elevator upward at a rate of about 3 meters per second. What amount of power is used by the motor? So, again, power is force times average velocity, about 24,000 watts of power. Much more powerful than you and I when we were climbing the stairs, right? Anyway, power is a pretty simple formula. It's used to help us measure energy consumption, and that's it. How can we reduce the demand for power? How can we reduce the demand for power in this particular motor? Well, we could do the work less quickly, move them up slower. Or we could use lighter elevator cars. Or I could not ride in the elevators. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. So, remember He-Man, he had horsepower. Do you have it? If 1 horsepower is 745.7 watts, then how will you determine whether or not you're capable of producing 745.7 watts of power? How can you find out if you can do 745 joules of work in a second? Well, we could find it out by climbing the stairs, which is what we did. So remember our friend He-Man. I have the power! I'll see you in class again, gang. Bye-bye!